goal that 7 years down the line, 8 years down the line, I need money to fund my MBA, right? So similarly, you need to make a list of all your goals, right? And it's going to be different for every individual. It's a very personal thing, right? So just make a list of all your goals so that you know the direction that you're going towards. And I truly believe that in our life, we need to have goals, right? In every aspect of our life, we have personal goals, we have professional goals, we have financial goals, because goals are what is going to drive us in the right direction. If you don't have goals, you're just going to have a very aimless, life, because then you would not know what you're going towards. So it's very important to have goals in every aspect of your life, including goals related to money. Okay? And then of course, once you have your goals, you will realize it's very psychological, but you'll realize that you've started working towards it. Okay, so that's step number 1. Make a list of all your goals. And I would request all of you to do that today, tomorrow, right? Just sit down and make a list of all the things that you need money for. Okay? What's wrong with the presentation? Just. Oh, I think it was very bad. Can you guys see this? So setting your milestones, right? So it's like this, I always give this example. Suppose you want to go on a holiday. Yeah? Now, see, it's a 10 days of a holiday or vacation that you're planning. Will you just say today, you're going to get up and just go on a holiday? You're not going to do that. You plan it out, right? You'll say that, okay, if I want to travel for 10 days, which are the places I want to see, which are the places I'm going to stay at, how am I going to travel from one place to the other. So what you've done is first you set your milestones, right? And then you're working towards it. If you just go randomly, you just go for a 10-day holiday, you will probably have fun. But you'll also have so much stress because you're always planning what next. So in your vacation, you're only going to be in the process of, okay, now I'm done with this, now what do I do next? But if you've planned it in advance, you've set your milestone, and your journey just becomes so much more smooth, right? So similarly with money, we need to have those milestones just to have a very smooth money-related journey in our life, okay? So setting our milestones, and then of course it's about reaching the goals, right? So like I said, people always ask this question, how much should I save? And I always say that, when you guys start earning, just remember this one thing. What most people do, right, all of us who've worked and, we've been working for 15, 20 years, whenever we get our salaries or see our income, what's the first thing we do with that, logically? We go and spend that money, right? We will pay our bills, we will pay our credit cards, we will pay our EMIs. You'll realize as you go through life that suddenly your expenses are booming, right? And you'll have hundreds of things coming your way, and you'll have to pay all those bills. And then once we are done with all the expenses, when we start saving. But what you've done in this whole process is that you have worked so hard to earn all that money, but you have gone and made the whole world rich by spending that money. How have you done that? If you've bought groceries, your grocery stores become rich. If you've paid the rent, the owner has become rich, right? If you've paid the bills, that individual has become rich. So, you are effectively then what you're doing is you're working the whole month just to make the whole world rich. Ideally, you should make yourself rich first, right? And how do you make yourself rich? The only way you can do that is by saving. That's the only way you can make yourself rich. But then you're working towards your individual, self. You're working towards making yourself rich. So which is why when you guys start earning, look at saving first and then spending, right? So then how much should you save is a very, very important question. And for that, I always tell everyone to follow the simple rule that you see on the screen, which is called the 50-30-20 rule. Okay? Now what is this 50-30-20 rule? It's a beautiful rule. It's designed by, we have a lot of people who worked on it, but Mr. Warren Buffett is a big promoter of this rule in itself. The 50-30-20 rule says, whatever is your monthly income, 50% of that you spend on your basic necessities, right? Food, clothing, shelter, basic. Next 30% you can spend on luxury, so which is go for your holidays, buy your gadgets, do shopping, do all of that. But minimum 20% you should be able to save every month. Okay, so which means whatever is your income, at least 20% of that you should be able to save every month. So which means the moment you get your salary, save 20%. Now I would request all of you to apply that logic to your pocket money to start with. Okay? All of us have pocket money. All of us get, right? Whatever. I don't know how much, what's the rate going on these days. In my days, we used to get only 2,000 rupees, and that was my parents thought was a lot of money. Okay? But nowadays, I don't know how much pocket money you guys get, but I'm guessing it's 5 to 10,000 rupees. Right? I don't know. But whatever be your pocket money. Okay, whatever is your pocket money. I really don't know how much pocket money you guys are getting, but I'm just guessing whatever is the pocket money, just start saving 20% of it. Whatever it is, just start saving 20% of it. It's just going to help you with the discipline part of it. Okay? So for example, you want to make your investments, you guys are going to download the Full Smart app. Start with your 20% investment using that app. Whatever is your pocket money, save 20%. Make it as a discipline so that even when you grow older and when you start getting your salaries, that discipline will continue. Okay? Trust me, it is not going to be such a big deal because it's really just about discipline. It has nothing to do with anything else. Even if you're getting 2,000 rupees pocket money, even if you're getting that, I don't think it's very difficult to save 400 rupees from that. You will be able to do it. But just start that process. Okay? And trust me, the moment you start investing, your parents will think, my child is very disciplined, they'll probably start giving you more pocket money as well. Okay? So start with this process, and then when you start earning, anyway the process is going to continue. Okay? But minimum 20% every month, and ideally if you can increase it with time, make it 25, 30, 40%, great. But minimum 20% is what you should start with. Okay? So setting your milestones and then saving 20% every month. Because see, at this stage of your life also you have a lot of aspirations, right? I'm sure you need money for a lot of things. So if you just start accumulating that, even in a small way, 100, 200, 300 bucks a month, you will be able to achieve your aspirations much faster. Much faster. So imagine when I went for my MBA, there were 20 Indians in my class, 19 of them had an education loan. I was the only one who didn't have an education loan. Right? So for me that was something that I truly cherished, that I didn't have to take a loan because I was very disciplined as a person, right? And that goes a long way. So today also I'm very disciplined because it's just there and I've learned it, and not the hard way. I've learned it and I know that I'm just going to continue being a very disciplined investor all my life, right? Okay. So now, what is inflation? Can someone tell me that? What's the meaning of inflation? All of you heard of this term, inflation? Yeah? Just in very simple terms, I don't want any technical definition. What's the meaning of inflation? Expanding, like what? What is happening in inflation? Absolutely, in very simple terms, when price of goods and services keeps increasing with time, right? We are consuming multiple goods and services, and the price keeps increasing, right? It doesn't remain the same. So if something is 100 rupees today, it's not going to be 100 bucks next year, more than 100 bucks, correct? Now that's inflation. So what is inflation doing? Inflation is bringing down the value of my money. So for example, if I could buy something for 100 rupees today, next year I'll get lesser than that particular quantity for the same 100 rupees, which means the value of money is going down. Inflation, it is very important for us to consider inflation while we are investing money. Because what are the investments doing? So whenever we are investing our money, they're taking up the value of our money. They're getting returns, profit, whatever, right? So it's taking up the value of my money. Inflation is bringing down the value of my money. So logically speaking, wherever I'm investing my money, my returns should be higher than inflation. So for example, if I'm getting 10% return and my inflation is 6%, I'm effectively making only 4%. Is that okay? So it's a very simple thing. And I hope you guys understand this, because a lot of people who've been investing for years don't understand this concept. They don't understand that your investment returns need to beat inflation. Right? And today when I do this program for people with 20 years of work experience, I need to drill it into their head. Okay? For you guys, I think you're going to be so much smarter to understand these things as you grow older. Okay? So now when it comes to inflation, can someone tell me what is India's inflation right now? Yes. So RBI comes up with an inflation number every year. RBI is Reserve Bank of India, right? What's the inflation number for India currently? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, do you guys watch news? Little bit. what's happening in the country, what's happening globally. You have to watch news, guys. That's very important. All of us need to be aware of what's happening. Yes? What's the inflation number? Simple. You take a guess. Just give me a random number.
6.
So it's close to 6%, you're right. So currently, our inflation has actually gone less than 6 at this point. We were at 7% about a month and a half back. We are close to 6 right now, okay? So what that means is, if something is 100 rupees today, it will be 106 next year, logically. But for all of us, that logic may not apply. And I'll tell you why. Because this inflation is for basic goods and services, but then our lifestyle inflation is much higher. And I'm going to tell you what is lifestyle inflation. For example, education inflation is not 6%. Education inflation is much higher. Healthcare inflation, right? So, for example, all of you have heard of IIM Ahmedabad? Yeah? All of us know it's a big premier institute in India from where you can do your masters. Okay. What was the fees of? Okay, what's the fees of IIM Ahmedabad this year? Any idea? Take a guess. 12 lakhs per year, yeah. So it's closer to 25, 26 lakhs for the whole course, right? 2-year course. Do you know what was the fees 10 years back? Say 12 years back? Take a guess. It's 3.5 lakhs, right? That is your education inflation. 10 years, 3.5 lakhs to 26, 27 lakhs is your education inflation. Now, would you compromise on that? If you guys get admission in IIM Ahmedabad, will you say, I'll not take it up, it's too expensive? No. You'll still do whatever it is to get that seat, right? Which is why education inflation, which we don't compromise on, is very high, close to 10 to 12%. Okay? Then healthcare inflation, right? You go to a doctor today for basic cold, cough, fever, you will be spending at least $1,000 on every doctor's visit. 10 years back, it was about 100. So that is your healthcare inflation, which impacts all of us in a big way, right? Which is easily 10 to 12%. So which means when I'm investing my money, I need to make sure I'm getting returns which are higher than the lifestyle inflation that I'm talking about, ideally. Yeah? Okay. So now once we've understood about inflation, now that we have understood about things like having our financial goals, yeah. Okay. So now we're going to quickly talk about, I need to invest my money, right? And I need to invest for all my dreams and aspirations, which could be I want to buy my car, I want to go on a holiday, I want to buy a house for myself at some point, all of that. So we have so many financial goals. So where is it that I can invest? So you guys see a list of all these products on the screen. Do you see all these products? Yes. Do you see the circle? How many of you have, how many products do you guys know from these products that we see? So stocks, mutual funds, gold. Mutual funds, gold. Government schemes. Have you guys heard of all these products that you see there? Yes. Yeah. Do you have your parents investing in any of these products? I mean, I'm sure you would be, your parents would be discussing, right? If you're invested there, yeah? Okay. Now, out of all these products which are available, a big challenge that all of us are going to face, and we still face that as investors, is that today we have a lot of options. So we had someone who's talking about cryptos, we have a lot of newish products which are coming up, right? And similarly, we have a lot of older products which are already existed. The biggest challenge that you guys are going to face is deciding where to invest. You may be convinced in the last half an hour that you want to invest your money. I think it's great, I'm going to achieve everything by investing. But the biggest challenge that you're going to face is where to invest. And that is what we're going to demystify right now. Okay? I want all of you to understand the structure that I'm going to explain, because the moment you have that clarity, you will be able to make your decisions. Okay? So I want you to listen to me carefully for the next half an hour. We're going to quickly discuss the different products, how they work, what are the good side, what's the bad side, what is it that you can do from an investor's point of view to get the best returns and to manage your investments. Now you see all these products. Now the question is, which one is your favorite? From the little that you know about these products, tell me which one is your favorite? Gold. How many of you like mutual funds? Raise your hands for me. Then I'll ask you questions around mutual funds. Huh? Okay, how many of you like stocks? You want to invest in the share market? Raise your hands. Okay, how many of you like fixed deposits? Simple product. FDs as they call it, right? Okay, how many of you think real estate is a great investment? Raise your hands, guys. Yeah, real estate is a good investment. How many of you think gold is your favorite? See, I'm just happy that you guys are answering my questions. For me, that is more than enough. It's nothing about right or wrong here, right? I'm just glad that you guys are thinking. That's more important. Yeah? Okay. Now, there are so many products which are available, right? Should we have our favorite is the question. So let me give you an example and ask you the same question. Suppose you are a soldier on the war front. Okay, you are a soldier fighting a battle. Now you are given 4 weapons. Okay, you're given a knife, you're given a revolver, you're given a machine gun, and you're given a hand grenade. Okay. Now, which one is going to be your favorite? Machine guns? Yeah? For all of you, machine guns will be the favorite? How about the others? So how many of you hand grenade would be the favorite? Hand grenade like a bomb that you throw, right? How many of you think revolver is the best? Now just imagine, you say hand grenade is your favorite weapon. Okay, it's easy, right? You just throw it and just hope 10 people will die in one go. The point is, what if your enemy is right next to you? Will hand grenade be your favorite then? Then you're also going to die if you use a hand grenade. Correct? Then what will you use? Maybe a knife or a revolver. Right? Logically, you can't use a machine gun if your enemy is right there. Correct? So can a soldier have a favorite? Is the question. No. A soldier cannot have a favorite. That's why he's given 4 weapons. That he's going to use a weapon based on the circumstances. Right? Based on where the enemy is, he's going to decide which weapon is going to work best for him. Correct? If a soldier cannot have his favorite, because it is going to impact him as well. The same logic applies to your investment. You cannot have one investment product which is going to be your favorite, because every investment works differently in different situations. Okay, so as an investor, one thing I want all of you to remember is never have favorites. Okay, you cannot say that I will only invest in this one product because this is the best. There is no such thing as the best product. Every product has a good side, has a bad side. Every product works in a particular situation, which is what we're going to be talking about. Which product works well in what kind of situation. Okay? Now what I generally do is I divide all these products into 4 asset classes. Okay? Now what are these asset classes? Now I'm going to say, okay, she's using all these technical terms. Asset classes are basically 4 in nature. So we have all the products that you see that are available in the market will fit into one of these asset classes. First is fixed income group, which is, think of any of these products that you know which will give you fixed returns at the time of maturity. Which means when you're investing in these products, you exactly know how much you will get when the product matures. That will come under a fixed income category. Second is equity. So anything to do with the share market. Could be stocks, equity, mutual funds, all of that will come under equity. Anything to do with gold. Gold is the 3rd asset class and real estate is the 4th asset class. So we have these 4 asset classes which are going to determine your portfolio. We'll start with fixed income, which is any product that gives me fixed return. Give me examples. FD, yes. What else? Mutual funds are not fixed. In any capacity, they're not fixed. What else? Yes? Insurance? Okay, so life insurance is not an investment product. Life insurance is already. Why do you take life insurance? Why do people take life insurance? That is health insurance. Life insurance would be if I have financial dependence and something happens to me, their life is taken care of. They don't have to worry about money. They get money from the insurance company and they can live peacefully for the next few years, right? So life insurance is a risk cover product. It is not an investment product. Okay? So in the investment category, fixed deposits are for sure. What else? Then you have simple products. Think of all the conventional products that your parents would be investing in. PPFs, public provident funds. Then you have something called as NSC, National Savings Certificates. You have Kisan, Vikas Patra. Then you have bonds, and then you have so many of these products which are available. Now, if I just talk about FD, all of us know FD to some extent, right? It's a simple bank deposit. You put your money in a bank, you get an interest on it. Do you guys know what's the bank FD interest rate right now? Any idea?
3.
2.5. That's a savings account.
8.5.
4 to 5%. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. So every return was about 5.5% till recently. Now they've gone up to about 6%. So now the bank FD is going to give me 6% return. Okay. So now the question is, if my FD is giving me 6% return, so just think logically, okay? My FD is giving me 6% return. My inflation is 10%. My lifestyle inflation is 10%. Is my money growing or degrowing in a fixed deposit? Degrowing. All of us understand this logic? Because it is growing only by 6%, but inflation is bringing down the value of my money by 10%. So effectively, I'm getting negative 4% return if I'm putting my money in FD. The question doesn't mean it's bad. I'm getting negative returns, but then do I look at returns when I'm investing in FD? No. We don't look at returns when we're investing in FD because FD is a safe product. It's relatively low in terms of risk, which is why we invest in a fixed deposit. Okay? So if you're looking at investing in fixed deposits, invest only for the short term. Your fixed deposit investments should only be for the short term because in the short term you don't take risk with your money, but in the long term your money will only devalue because of inflation. So for example, you're saving money to buy a car for yourself, okay? And say you want to buy a car in 2 years, and put that money in FD, don't take risk on it. But if you're saving money for, say you want to buy a house for yourself 7 years from now, then obviously FD is a bad option. Say you guys are 18, 19 years old. You want to save for your higher education. Say 7 years from now, when you're 25, 26, you want to go for your higher studies. Then obviously FD is not a good option. Then you should look at other long-term products. But FD is only considered to be a short-term product. Maximum 3 years is your time horizon. Clear? So when you're looking at fixed income products, they generally don't beat inflation. And when we're looking at investment products, we're looking at those products which are beating inflation. So at least these fixed income products only invest for the short term. Is that fine? Okay. Now we'll move on to the next investment product, which is, when it comes to our next investment, which is equity. Okay. Now what is equity? What is equity? Okay. Do you guys understand the basics of the share market? What are shares? Why do people invest in shares? Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're probably investing, right? Yeah, okay. So in very simple terms, let me explain this. So you guys want to start your own companies and all that, right? So when it comes to equity, it's nothing but you're a part owner of that business, depending on the number of shares that you're owning. So for example, I want to start my own company, or rather, I run my own company, and I want money to grow my business. If I want money to grow my business, from where am I going to get that money? So I have two ways of getting that money. One, I can take a loan. Yeah, if I take a loan, it's a simple transaction. I take money from the bank, I give it back to the bank along with the interest. So I have to pay a particular interest, whatever is pre-decided, I pay that interest and the transaction is done. But in this case, the person who's giving me the loan, it could be a bank or an individual, has no ownership in my business. He doesn't care whether my business is doing well or not doing well. He's given me money, I have to give back that money along with the interest. Okay? That is one way of raising funds. Now the second and the more efficient way of raising funds is through equity. Okay, so in equity what you do is you have shares of your company. If it's a company, you have shares, right? Now you have people who will invest in my business. So if I'm a new startup, for example, then I have investors in my business, and those investors will get shares based on how much money they're investing in my company. Right? So for example, I would say that my company is valued at say 10 crores, and you give me 1 crore, I'll give you 10%. Right? So you give a part of your business to that particular person who is investing in your company. So then what happens as an investor, I am a part owner of the business to the extent of the shareholding that I have. The company does well, I'm also going to benefit from it. I'll get part of the profit. But if the company doesn't do well, I'll also have to bear the losses. Right? So which is why when it comes to equity, there's always a risk aspect involved. Right? Because Of course, you're going to be part of the profit, but you're also going to be part of the losses. Yeah? And that is one of the reasons why people are generally a little apprehensive about investing in equity, right? You're always thinking, should I invest? Because the risk is on the higher side. So let's understand equity a little bit more in detail, right? So when we're looking at investing in equity, of course, we all understand there is risk involved. So let's look at the ways of reducing that risk, okay? So first what we have to understand is that when we are looking at investing in equity, what's the first way of reducing your risk? By investing in equity for the long term. So I'm sure all of you agree that if it's a new business, it will take time for the business to do well. It's not like you start today and from next year you're going to make money, right? People invest years and a lot of money for the business to eventually start giving some form of returns, correct? Which means as a person who's running the business, I'm giving my business enough time, right? Trust me guys, time plays an extremely important role in equity investing. It is one of those most important ways that you can reduce your risk. We call it time diversification. What does that mean? It basically means that as time increases, your risk reduces and your returns average out. So I'll explain it to you. Suppose you guys have done with your college and you've just started your own company. In the first year, is the risk high or low? High. Very high. You don't know if you'll even survive the next year. But if you run the business for 5 years, your risk increases or reduces? Reduces. You must have done something right to be there for 5 years. 10 years, the risk goes down further. So basically, as time is increasing, your risk is coming down. Doesn't mean you make profit in every year. Obviously not. You have made profits in some years, losses in some years, but on an average, you would have made your money. So if you see on the screen here, right? So here you see this is a Nifty 50 chart, okay? Now, so these are basically how you invest in Nifty, the returns that you have got. So for example, yeah, if you see this from 2006 to 2021, which is a 15-year timeline that I'm showing you. In 2006, Nifty gave about 40% return, okay? In 2008, negative 50% return. Remember, we had recession in 2008. Then 2009, about 75% return. 2011, negative 24%. So as you can see, there are so many ups and downs, correct? Had you invested just for a short duration, for 2 to 3 years, your volatility would have been very high, right? Your risk would have been very high. But had you invested in 2006 and you're looking at your returns in 2021, the average return is close to 12%. Which means had you just invested in Nifty for those 15 years, you would have got an average CAGR as we call it. So that's basically annualized return of about 12%. Right? So what happens is in the long term, you will have those ups and downs, but not average out in the long term. Clear? So which is why we say that when you're looking at investing in equity, rule number 1, invest for the long term. Minimum 5 years. That's your time horizon. Minimum 5 years, the longer the better. So if you can actually stay invested for 15, 20, 25 years, great. So one way of doing that is, when you start earning, right? Start something called as SIPs, which I'm going to show you about. And just continue that for the rest of your career. It sounds complicated, right? How can I just do something all my life? But then just start, say maybe 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 rupee SIP, and just leave that for till the time you're going to work, 20, 30 years. When you finish your work life, you will realize that you have a huge corpus which you can actually use for a lot of things. So what time diversification means, it just give your investments enough time for it to reduce the risk, for it to give you good returns. Okay? Now the second, I think the battery is not working in this. Okay. Now one thing that a lot of people do is, which, so all of you who are effective investors or who have already been investing, is that we tend to chase the trend, as you can see here, right? So what happens is, for those of you who track stocks to some extent or sectors and all of that, we tend to follow one sector. So when I do these programs for youngsters, a lot of times, for example, people come to me and tell me, I love banking stocks, I love technology stocks, I just want to invest in banking or technology. Right? So they just want to focus on one category or one segment. The problem is that different segments move differently in different market conditions. So if the markets are down, if there's recession that's happening, You will have say sectors like FMCG, healthcare, which will do well. The logic is if the markets are down, right? You will still not leave your essentials. You will still brush your teeth. You will still use soaps. Your essentials are not going to go down. You may compromise on your luxury stuff, right? So which means FMCG as a sector does well. You'll not compromise on your healthcare even if the markets are down, correct? You'll probably compromise on travel. You'll compromise on, those products which you don't necessarily need. But the essentials you will not compromise on. So when markets are down, that's the time you will see all these kind of segments doing well, FMCG, healthcare, and so on. And the moment markets start doing well, so it's just like, say now suddenly you've got more money, right? Yeah. Now suddenly you've got more money, then you will spend, right? Then you will go and buy all your luxury items, you will do all of that. So that is when you have luxury segments doing well, right? So which is why different sectors will do well in different time periods. So you can't say that I want to invest only in one sector. I'll invest every time only in banking or only in IT because everything is cyclical. So you should invest in a combination. That's important. Okay. So now when we're looking at investing in mutual funds or in equity, the second way of reducing our risk is by investing through mutual funds. So we have stocks. All of you understand what is stock market, right? As an investor, say you have companies which are listed on NSE, listed on BSE, right? And say you want to invest in any of those companies, you will buy those companies' shares. The share price goes up, you will make money. The share price goes down, you will lose money, right? But when you're investing in shares, the risk is quite high because you are investing all your money in one company. So that means all your risk is dependent on that one organization. That company does well, good for you. But if the company doesn't do well, gone. Right? So that is where the whole concept of mutual fund comes in. So it's not a very new concept. Mutual funds have been around for many decades. The only problem is that now you see mutual fund as a trend really picking up in the last say 10-15 years. So now what are mutual funds? So mutual funds are a way of investing your money, and you can invest in any asset class through mutual funds. So you remember asset classes? Fixed income, equity, real estate, gold, these are different asset classes. You can invest in any of these through the mutual funds. So for example, if you're investing in shares through mutual funds, we call them equity funds. If you're investing in gold through mutual funds, you can invest in gold mutual funds. You can invest in real estate mutual funds today. So we don't have a real estate mutual fund today in India, but the approval has been given. So companies will come out with real estate funds as well, where you'll be able to buy properties, part of a property in some part of the country through a real estate mutual fund. Okay? And if you're investing in those relatively safer mutual funds, we call them debt funds. Okay, so like they give you returns slightly better than FDs, for example. But anyways, let's understand the concept using equity funds. So for example, now you're not putting your money in one company's stocks. You're putting your money in a fund which has at least 40 to 50 company stocks. So your risk is lower because now at one go, your money is getting spread across 50 companies. So your risk is low. All 50 companies will not do bad. Some will do well, some will do bad. So on an average, you will make your money. So let me explain the difference between stocks and mutual funds through a very simple example. Okay? Now suppose you want to go on a holiday. Okay? And you want to go on a holiday from Bangalore, you want to go to Ooty. Now there are two ways of going to Ooty. Now just go with the story, okay? So first way of going to Ooty is you drive down. You take your car and you drive down to Ooty. How many of you are not driving here? Raise your hands for me. How many of you are not driving? Really? Come on guys. Driving is the most important life skill all of you should have, okay? Like how we talk about investing, please learn driving. Okay. So let's assume, I want all of you to assume that you're not driving, okay? So you want to drive down to Ooty. That's the first way of going to Ooty. What do you need if you're driving down? What do you need? You need fuel, license. What else do you need? License, yes. Okay, documents. Money, okay. What else? Vehicle, you need the car, correct. What else? Okay, what's an important skill you need? Driving. I told you, assume all of you know driving. Yeah? Okay. So now, let's assume you are driving down to Ooty in your own car. And of course, you need to know how to drive. Now, you are driving yourself. You have all the flexibility. You can go anytime, you can stop anywhere, you can take the shortest route possible, you can drive fast, you can do all of that. But if you are the one driving, you have to be watching the road the whole time. You cannot look here and there. You're going to have an accident. So it means you have to watch, you have to be watchful. Now the second you are going to Ooty is by bus. Now if you're going by bus, what do you need?
Money.
Money you need irrelevant now. Whichever mode of transport you need money. No, but what do you need if you need to go by bus?
Bus ticket.
Right? You buy your ticket, you go sit in the bus,
Enjoy the journey.
you can eat, sleep, Netflix, do whatever you want. You will reach your destination safely. You have an expert there, the bus driver, who's going to make you reach your destination safely. Now, with bus, you may not have all the flexibility. The bus will take its own route, it will go at its own speed. It will take this, you can't just say, okay, stop the bus, I need to get out. You can't do all that. But you will reach your destination